Kenya is keen on retaining Uganda as a partner on the multi-billion standard gauge railway project set to be extended to Kisumu. This after Uganda appeared to relax its commitment towards the project. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, who jetted in the country yesterday and held talks with President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto at State House, however, remained non-committal on whether Uganda is still keen on the project. The SGR will serve Uganda from Kisumu through the ports of Jinja, Masaka and Entebbe. Well, good morning and happy holidays to you from wherever you're watching us on this 20th day of December 2017. This is News Center. Look at news making headlines this hour. My name is Michelle Ngele, and I look at some of the top stories we're following for you this morning. Elgeyo Marakwet embarks on a program to rehabilitate illicit brewers. Reformed brewers are now being trained on other income-generating programs in a bid to keep them off the vice. And the Garissa County government now urges residents to fully participate in development projects in the county. The county government has accused residents of taking a back seat as some of the projects collapse or fail to take off. Meanwhile, West Pokot Governor Professor John Lonyangapuo warns the county officials of dire consequences should they involve themselves in corrupt dealings. Lonyangapuo says he will not allow corrupt officers to derail his development agenda. Well, welcome to the program. We begin in Uganda, where President Yoweri Museveni has reassured Kenya of Uganda's commitment towards the standard gauge railway project, assuring the line will reach the border with Kenya. Museveni made the remarks following bilateral talks with his host, President Uhuru Kenyatta, at State House, Nairobi on Tuesday. Uhuru and Museveni hailed the strong bilateral relations between Kenya and Uganda, committing to work to strengthen the ties even further.
Mzee, karibu nyumbani. Habari. Salama sana.
Asante. Salama kabisa. Kaitabon. Kaitabon. Yes. Asante sana. That is the language of Mount Elgon.
Of Mount Elgon.
Yes.
And staying with diplomatic ties, President Uhuru Kenyatta has hailed Kenya's cooperation with Turkey and Iraq. President Kenyatta said relations between Kenya and the two countries have enhanced in the last 5 years, especially in matters security and trade. The president was speaking on Tuesday at State House, Nairobi, when he separately bid farewell to Turkish Ambassador Deniz Eke and Iraqi Ambassador Zaid Izzadin Mohameduri, whose tour of duty in the country has ended. The president commended the envoys for the role played in bolstering relations between Kenya and their countries. Bidding farewell to Eke, the outgoing Turkish ambassador to Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta lauded the enhanced cooperation between Kenya and Turkey at both bilateral and multilateral levels. While bidding farewell to Iraqi ambassador, Uhuru welcomed the growing cooperation between Kenya and Iraq in areas of science, culture, technology, and the training of diplomats.
Wonderful.
Meanwhile, residents of Garissa have been challenged to seriously take part in public participation to ensure they are part and parcel of programs and projects to be undertaken by the county government. Speaking during a public participation forum on County Integrated Development Plan, Garissa CEC for Trade, Ado Jubat, said many of the projects and programs undertaken by previous administrations either failed to take off, were never implemented, or abandoned midway after members of the public were not involved.
From previous mistakes, that where people are not involved in their planning, it really becomes difficult to implement projects. Sometimes it gives us headache because we have learned that we have implemented a lot of in the previous government. We implemented projects which are of no use to the people. We are not blaming the previous administration for anything.
All over the world has been that people cannot develop unless they are the ones who own those projects by identifying their felt needs, participating in the implementation, and that's the only way development can be sustainable. That is the lessons that have been learned globally, and this is what we have borrowed for us to do our county integrated development plan in line with the Kenya's 2030 vision and the sustainable development goals. And our executive puts a lot of emphasis in public participation. And for the first time in Garissa County, we have appointed a chief officer who will take a lead role in public participation.
At some sad news now, where at least 4 people have died in a dawn fire in Kondele, Kisumu. The fire is said to have begun in one of the lodgings at around 4 a.m. Victims are believed to have been trapped owing to the lack of emergency exit at the premises. The owners of the premises were not available to talk to a crew, having escaped from irate locals. The cause of the fire is yet to be established. Well, let's bring in our reporter Kevin Ogutu, now joining us by way of phone. Kevin, do we have any more information on the victims of this fire? All right, I understand we'll be joining Kevin Ogutu in just a moment. In other news, the county government of Elgeyo Marakwet has initiated a program that will see reformed alcohol brewers engage in meaningful development. The program, undertaken in collaboration with Ukweli Training Center in Aldret, will see the reformed individuals involved in income-generating ventures like agroforestry, poultry keeping, livestock rearing and baking, among others. Elgeyo Marakwet Governor Alex Tolgos has promised to relentlessly deal with the issue of illicit brew in the county.
Hata kuunda keki. Imagine mama mwenye alikuwa anaunda pombe kama mimi, nijue kuunda keki. Sio ni maajabu. Hata tungekuwa na nafasi nzuri tungekuja kuunda keki hapa tukate mukiona. Sisi wa mama wenye tulikuwa tumeserenda. Mrs. Chepsata akatufundisha kuunda keki na vitu zingine vizuri ambayo watoto wetu sasa wanafurahi wanakula. Nilikuwa nimeingia kwa mtungi. Nilikuwa nimepotea kabisa kwa mtungi. Tangu 1980 wakati nilioleka, nilikwenda kusika mtungi. Ng'ombe yangu ilikuwa mtungi. Na nilianza kulea watoto yangu na kwa bombe. Tangu siku hiyo nilikuwa nimeteseka, kuteseka. Mimi tumebikana na wagana chiefs, hata mapolisi. Hata kuna kijana mmoja mwenye alikuwa anaingia kazi polisi. Akakuja kwangu, akanikuta niko na bombe ile nimetengeneza, niko na nyumba ya kona. Ile nimeweka mtungi yote ndani ya nyumba. Sikuchimba chini. Nimepanga kutokea Monday mpaka kazi yangu tu ni kuendelea kutengeneza. Pusa ndio hapo. Changa ndio hapo.
Enyewe nilikuwa notorious. Jina yangu ilikuwa kwa Dio. Nilikuwa terrorist sana. Katika village inaitwa Kapsergo. Hakuna hata mwanaume tunapigana. Kufika kopi sikuogopi. Mimi naunda pombe najua chenye nafanya. Usiwezi hata kiruwa kingine alikuwa na shida na mimi sana. Mpaka nikaambia siku nyingine kama wewe ni mwerevu kata mimi zingo. Alafu nisikusumbue sana. Na hapo waliniona tu wakaniambia kimoja sijui nitakufanyia nini. Nikamwambia hakuna nini pombe tu sababu ya watoto. Mheshimiwa nilikuwa na shida ya watoto. Yaani masomo ilikuwa inanisumbua sana. Shule ilikuwa kwa kichwa changu. Hata ukiongea mimi nasema watoto yangu lazima wasome. Nilale msituni, niunde chang'aa, niunde pusa. Lakini kumbe sikuwa najua kuna kitu kingine ya kufanya.
Hawa mama ni wenye walikuwa brewers ile fire safe. Walikuwa watengenezaji wa pombe sore. Hata siku tano naweza kwenda mpaka nakuja kwa watu kama hii. Nashukuru Mungu sana.
From 2008 to 2013 tumekuwa tukiona vile tunaweza shirikiana. Na mimi nakumbuka wakati nilisema napigana na pombe, pia mimi nilipigwa vita ile kali. Sometimes in social media watu walikuwa nasema when other counties wanajenga barabara, wanafanya maendeleo, Governor Elgeyo Marakwet anaotea tu mambo ya pombe. But I'm sure if they are here today to see the testimonies kutoka wale wa mama. Because development cannot happen when people are still engaging in drinking na kunywa pombe from morning to evening. We also want to appreciate Nagada kwa sababu alitusaidia kuja kusimama na sisi. Na pia County Assembly kwa kuweka ile sheria ambayo ilitusaidia kwa mambo ya kukabiliana na pombe.
Elsewhere, West Pokot Governor Professor John Lonyangapuo has warned county officers against corruption, saying those found looting will spend the rest of their lives in prison. Speaking during the swearing-in event of the county chief officers, he said he will not hesitate to sack non-performing officers and those who violate the constitution, as he will not accept officers who want to derail his development agenda. During the ceremony, 20 chief officers took oath of office.
Wanafikiri ni yao na wajui serikali iko na macho. Baada ya mwaka 10 saa ile mtu anafunika wewe ameenda, inafunguka ile utashangaa. So mali ya umma ni mali ya umma. Pili, mimi nimekuwa nikifanya kazi na sisi ni oversight yenu na watu ya policy. Wale watu watakana kulala saa hii na wanakaa ofisi, sio kutangatanga. Ni chief officer atuambie anafanya project planning yake, plans haraka. Sasa hii pesa imekuja, nafikiri leo imeingia ya kwanza ama kesho. Tunataka kwenda barabara, so wote barabara mimi nakutana nao leo jioni hapa. Hakuna wanatoa hivi vitu. Hiyo wanafaa wote barabara wawili. Karamunya na Kodomok sauri yenu. Leo hiyo out, mimi naenda na nyinyi kukaa chini kuuliza mambo inaendeleaje na lugha ya bilioni. Kwa sababu Alhamisi mimi nataka kulaunch barabara yote kila sub county, nitatumia helicopter na mwenye anataka kujinyonga ajinyonge.
Let's now revisit our previous report where at least 4 people have died in a dawn fire in Kondele, Kisumu. The fire is said to have begun in one of the lodgings around 4 a.m. this morning. Victims are believed to have been trapped owing to the lack of emergency exits at the premises. The owners of the premises were not available to speak to a crew, having escaped from irate locals. The cause of the fire is yet to be established. Our reporter Kevin Oguto has been following up on this report since morning. He now joins us by way of phone. Kevin, what more can you tell us?
A very good morning to Michelle. Indeed, the Dreamland Bar and Lodging, which is located in Kondele in Kisumu town, was unfortunate enough to catch fire this morning dawn at 4 a.m. The report that we got when we got there and the fire brigade were trying to extinguish was that the patrons who were there were locked because there was no emergency exit. So the cause of the fire, as you mentioned, is not yet clear, has not yet been established. But what we could see...
All right, we do apologize for that. We seem to be having an audio hitch there. The reporter Kevin Ogutu will be crossing back to him at our Kisumu Bureau in just a moment. The residents of Kathera village in Igembe Central Sub-County of Meru want the government to beef up security in the area. Speaking during the burial of 3 among 4 livestock herders who were shot dead by camel herders said to have come from the neighboring Isiolo County, residents decried the number of lives lost due to insecurity. The 4 were shot dead while grazing the family's livestock at a Gakangorone area last week Sunday.
Hao watu naomba na siata kuomba wanapaswa waondoke hapo na ngamia zao waende makwao, kwa sababu kila mahali kumenyesha katika nchi, na la sivyo hata hiyo ngamia itakuwa chakula yetu, sababu hatutakuwa tukipembeleza. Serikali imetusaidia la kutosha, lakini hao watu majangili wamechukua watoto, wamechukua wanawake, wamechukua kila kitu, wanachukua mbuzi, wanakula kila siku.
Naomba tu serikali ichukue hatua, sababu sisi wenyewe hatuna chakula. Mahali tunatoa chakula, basi wezi wa ng'ombe wamebania. Wale wakina mama wetu ama watoto wetu ama wake zetu wakienda huko kuuawa, wengine wanabakwa. Ni vile wengine watu hawasemi kweli. Wengine wanabakwa, wengi ni kubakwa na kuuawa. Ni kana kwamba sisi wenyewe serikali huko itushughulikie. Ombi langu ni kwamba Uhuru na county governor ajue kwamba tuliwachagua na kura zetu. So tunaomba, sababu kura yetu ndio iliwafanya wawe wazindi na zaidi ya yote waongoze katika nchi hii. Pia sisi tunahitaji kushughulikiwa ipasavyo.
Now, former Rwanda Prosecutor General Martin Ngoga has been elected Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly after garnering 33 votes from 36 votes cast in the exercise in Arusha. Our reporter Eugene Anangwe with the details.
Right, it is now official that the East African Legislative Assembly has a speaker, and the speaker is none other than Honorable Martin Ngoga from Rwanda. That is the contestant who was actually, or the candidate who was vying for this particular position from Rwanda.
Please accept my profound appreciation to you all for conferring unto me such honor. I salute the efforts and deserved participation of my competitors, and I'm ready to work with you all now that we are past this event.
But the session was not an easy one. It all started off once the clerk of the parliament did mention that it was time to actually resume the business of election of speaker, and that's when the Tanzanian members actually stood up on a point to actually call for the clerk to do a count to just check for quorum.
Now, I beg anyone here to show me where it says that the East African Legislative Assembly can be minus 2 partner states. Looking at rule number 6, which says House. The definition of House says Assembly. Assembly goes to the treaty.
Honorable Magembe, but
information. So my point is, let me finish.
I want to second that, then I'll give you a chance to oppose it.
We are not even recognizing the motion.
No, but that's...
I am using the word frustrated deliberately, because if this House can sit twice, yesterday and today, and we have not been given a chance to understand what causes the absence of elected members who have sworn in and nominated in this House, I think it is a deliberate effort to frustrate the election of the Speaker, and I will impute bad motive on the two countries for us to proceed with this assembly, because we have been here, we have waited for 6 months. How much time do we still have to waste before we can start business of this House?
There is an issue raised by the Republic of Burundi, which requires further guidance for the Republic of Burundi feel very comfortable in this House. And before the guidance is provided, this assembly was pushing and forcing to vote, to go for election. And the Burundi felt very bad. That's why they decided to get out.
Why are we fearing? I am on my feet. I want to request my colleagues who believe we should take a vote to be on their feet now, like I do.
Honourable members,
Mr. Speaker,
I have heard you.
Thank you.
Just resume your seats.
I end my presentation. Thank you.
At some point, the Council of East African Community Ministers was accused of actually trying to meddle in the affairs of the East African Legislative Assembly, which is supposed to be seen as independent.
First of all, I was in a meeting of Extraordinary Council of Ministers this morning, and no decision was taken to submit this matter to the summit. I was in the meeting, and there was no consensus on these issues. We discussed about how to convey our message to the public and to the assembly, and what we agreed on is to describe the position of each country, Burundi and Tanzania, and to see how the ELA can solve the issue. But no decision was taken. I requested the floor on several occasions to make that clarification, and unfortunately I didn't have that opportunity.
In the end, Martin Ngoga from Rwanda was the only contestant who actually was present in the gallery to actually introduce himself and make his final plea for the members to vote for him. The first round of the election of Speaker did not achieve its result as far as having a winner is concerned, after Martin Ngoga garnered 35 out of the 36 vote, which was not actually the 2/3 majority as required by the law as far as election of the Speaker is concerned. And this necessitated a second round of vote, which actually the laws was actually very clear in this as far as who wins this. The person with the majority of votes out of the top two contenders in the first round of vote is actually the one to be declared the winner. And in the end, Martin Ngoga from Rwanda was declared the Speaker of the 4th Assembly of the East African Legislative Assembly.
I, Ngoga Karoli Martin, do swear that I will truly and faithfully serve the East African Legislative Assembly in the office of the Speaker, and that in the exercise of the roles and functions of this office, I will do right to all manner of persons according to the treaty for the establishment.
Well, it's quite clear that the East African Legislative Assembly, the 4th House, has started on a rocky mood, of course, looking at the way events unfolded right here in Arusha, Tanzania. But what now remains to be seen is that the Speaker of the House, newly elected Speaker, has his work clearly cut out, that of uniting the members of the House, considering the walkout by Tanzania and the protest by Burundi as far as these elections are concerned, and also as far as, changing the image of this particular organ as far as the trust is concerned from the members of public who have sort of created a perception about them based on the events right here in Arusha, Tanzania. For KTN News in Arusha, I'm Eugene Anangwe reporting.
Thank you, Eugene. Let's head back to Kisumu now, where at least 4 people have died in a dawn fire in Kondele. The fire is said to have begun at one of the lodgings around 4 a.m. with victims believed to have been trapped owing to the lack of emergency exits at the premises. We're taking a look there at pictures from the scene earlier on, where rescuers, mainly residents, tried to contain the fire. Our reporter Kevin Ogutu earlier on telling us it was the Dream City nightclub in Kondele, Kisumu, that broke into flames this morning. Scores were also injured as they jumped to save their lives.
Karibu na Sunspot pale. So kifika kitu saa 10 tuliona kama moto ilikuwa inawaka hapa hivi, na kuna mtu yote yenye ilishafika hapa. Tumepata wenye walikata room hapa kama wako hapa, hii neighbor hapa hivi. So nikapigia simamoto, nikapigia polisi simu, wakaniambia wameshatuma rescue team. Watu wa simamoto wakakuja, tukaanza kusaidia watu wa simamoto hadi mpaka tumepanda hiyo grofa. Mpaka hadi hiyo grofa ikabomla na sisi, mpaka mtu mmoja wetu yuko hospitali Russia. Tena tukarudi ya pili ndio tukazima hiyo moto. So kenye ilianza hiyo moto na yenyewe tukujua nini. Lakini watu wenye walikufa kwa hii room yenye huo mtu mmoja amewekwa hapo nje walikuwa 2, but ni zaidi ya watu 6 yenye ilikuwa, kwa sisi tulikuwa juu hapo, tulikuwa tunazima kwa tulikuwa tumepanda hapo juu. So ni karibu watu 6 yenye wako hapo ndani yenye walikufa.
Kwa hivyo hawajatolewa?
Hawajatolewa, ni hiyo tu moja tu yenye, kwa hiyo moja imeanguka pale chini. Ndio sasa maana ndio wamemtoa, wameweka pale. Lakini watu karibu 6 yenye wako hapo, kwa sababu ni ile roho ya pale, na hao 2 walikuwa hapa yenye huo mmoja ameanguka chini, na hilo ingine ni karibu watu 6 yenye walikuwa hapo ndani.
Governor himself arekebishe maneno ya fire brigade. Kitu ambao tumeona saa hizi sijafurahishwa. Nimejua ameingia kwa hiyo ofisi, bado yeye ni mgeni. Na chenye atafanya kwanza, make sure kwamba kila ward ikuwe na fire brigade yake, because there is no way fire brigade moja inaweza kuja na inarudi kama haina moto, haina hata maji. Watu wamekufa hapa, watu wengi. Na kama ingekuwa fire brigade wa respond immediately, kifo ya watu haingefanyika.
Well, that's all you have for your news center at this hour. For more news, log on to our website at www.ktnnews.com. More news updates to follow at the top of the hour. My name is Michelle Ngele. Good morning.
This is KTN News.